Hello, everybody. Welcome to a pop-up stream. We are going to do a little bit of Photoshop work. We're also testing some cool OBS features and things of that nature. Let me just make sure that everything is working with this. We're going to do my art graphic here. I hope you guys are all having a good day. I'm having a little bit of a breakfast while I do a little bit of an art stream. I'm going to test out a couple things over the next 20 minutes, and then I might have some friends join us, and we might do some art together. I have a couple of different projects I wanted to work on, so I wanted to try out a bunch of different stuff with OBS, and it's easier to do some of that while I'm live, but I thought I could chat with people while I do that. Let me take a look at some of these old settings that I have. First of all, I wanted to test out a couple of things. Does this work? I don't see it. All right, well, that's not a good start to that. Tested a couple different stuff on OBS if people are curious. All right, so the command still works, but not the redeem. Interesting. Let's go over to Trigger Fire and see what's up with that. I guess I could share my screen and show you guys what I'm working on. Let's go share. Send this request over. Allow participants. Make that other computer a co-host. And there we go for that. All right. And now I can share the screen. Look how that looks on OBS. And it's a good test of a different. Let's change this view over here. All right, cool. Alright, so this is the art stream window, and we can try to see if we can do that same command over here and see what happens. Alright, cool. So that still appears correctly over there. I'll get this back over here. Alright, so let's do a Gengar command. Okay, good. That still appears in the right place. Over here. Alright, so now you're seeing Trigger Fire. If you're in chat, you can catch this Pokemon. Alright, so we're just testing out a couple of different features here. I'm going into stream elements and changing some of these commands as well. Chatbot commands, custom commands. So Gengar works. Does that one work? Hold on. Let me just test them all in different formats. So So it's weird. It doesn't seem like any of these redeems are being linked over to Triggerfire. So why is that? So Runariga says allow command. Maybe. No, that's fine. And Random Rodriguez is the name of the. This is why it's frustrating. Let me go back to Twitch's settings over here. So we go over into our creator dashboard. We are going to viewer rewards and then power up things, and then we're managing the channel points. And so we're looking at this one right now. So Random Rodriguez is the name of the reward. So it should be the same. It's case sensitive. Alright. I don't know why this isn't working. So the command works. Alright. Well, I'm happy the command works because at least it displays, but it's very frustrating that they're supposed to be able to use point redeems and it's supposed to just work. It's firing with the command, but not. Triggerfire dashboard channel points tab. Click the profile picture up right and click connections. Okay. I don't see. So weird. Because it's supposed to be connected right now. I mean, it's obviously pulling from Twitch, but it's causing some major issues. I mean, maybe we don't do redeems and we just do commands. But it's kind of annoying. It's kind of trying to give something specific to subscribers. I'm gonna try something. What happens if we change this and make it one word? Save that. Do the same problem. It says broadcaster has changed the reward requirements. What does that mean? Very, very strange. So the command still works. Scoldridge also does not work. Okay. Alright, so I'm changing this to now. I want to whisper people, so that way if they want to know the bio, it tells it to them, but doesn't necessarily send it to the whole entire chat. Alright, so let's just take a look at some of these. So Annihilate is set for everybody, I guess. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna make this one also whispers the person. User level everyone. I guess I could make certain ones available for everybody and other ones that you have to be a subscriber. Alright, so this is what happens when we do Ghost Pokemon. Thank you, Tina. Welcome on in. We're just testing some different commands that will appear, and so you can see that we can make ghosts appear. What I was trying to do is use the channel point redeems and hopefully make them appear, but for some reason none of the channel point redeems are working. But if you do the command at Command Gengar, it does work. So I'm trying to figure out why there are issues. I may just make it that I don't use channel points and we only use commands for the Halloween streams, but I was just trying to figure that out. So that's why I'm doing a little bit of a test stream right now for that, and see how that all works. Let me just look at this overlay gallery. Oops. So this is the main overlay that we use for all of our streams. You can see that I've turned these Pokemon on. I also, it said that I had a special one. This is just a duplicate of that. Okay. So you can see that I've turned on some of the Pokemon below, and just quit out of some of these. But these things are supposed to just be appearing. You do different commands. But I am happy that they are showing up in general. We're gonna have to come up with a new goal GIF for sure. Yeah, so I don't know. Good morning, Dan. Good to see you, Seth. Do the Seth command. We'll also do who is Tina. For the people that know her, can follow her sister Andrea Cannon Guitar also. Oh, a Pokemon has just joined the chat. Catch Ultra Ball. That Amperosa has an awesome mega ability for people that were on our last stream, or our last gaming stream. We were trying to do some stuff, so I'm gonna actually switch over to this stream just to see how things are doing with overlays on there. Does it work on this one? Nope. So we are, is any, oh, so those do work, but it is cut off. Let's see if I can fix that. Alright, so this trigger fire command is Alright, I think I figured it out. Let me just try this again. There we go. And so let's just Pokemon Ghost. Aha! Alright, so the command is Ghost Pokemon, and Annihilate works for everybody, and Scoldridge will work. Okay. That's kind of cool. All right, so everyone can add effects to the chat. That one is, so that is working. So Evo Tree, is that one? What is this command? All right, so let's take a look at how we make all these other ones appear. So if you're a subscriber, you can do command char. Nice. And so it should be a cooldown to make it so that way people can't do it like right away. How about Litwick? Alright, cool. I'm happy that it works on all of the screens now. We're going to make that stream elements one over here. We're going to our chat bot, chat commands, and custom commands in Litwick. So I like that it tells everyone about the Pokemon, but instead of it putting it in chat, which I feel like clogs up chat, I now have it whisper people. So if they want to learn, they can look at their whispers on Twitch, but it doesn't necessarily send it and then send it to all of the different ones. Let me see right here. So if we do story, is that not what it was called? Hold on. Go back over to stream elements commands, and we do story. So it's story 1. Okay, so there. Alright, so we are going to make everyone be able to do the story now. So everyone have this ability. So what this will do is people who want to do the Halloween story while we're podcasting, if anyone wants to play along, the story will appear for everyone. I want to read the story and see what it says to see if we want to change the story. It was kind of like a ghost story that can make Pokemon appear. So we'll start off with story 1. Will you help us find the 9 ghost Pokemon haunting the stream? There are some of Robbie's favorite ghost Pokemon and some powerful creatures behind these attacks. We'll start our story in the Paldea region of the Pokemon world, the most recent 9th generation of Pokemon. The starting fire type can actually turn into a ghost here. Scoldridge is fun to watch Pokemon because they love to sing like so many on these platforms. And has some other cool abilities too. Do exclamation Scoldridge for more. So if we do that, it then sends a whisper to us that will tell us what it is. So that will actually whisper me with the information, so it doesn't put that in chat, which is great. So then story 2. This Pokemon evolved from Primeape when the rage in its soul became too much for its physical form to contain. It gained increased power as a result of its spirit no longer being limited by the flesh. The rage that was bubbling inside fills its punches with force that frightens its target to their core. You can do an exclamation point and annihilate for more. So that then also sent me information, but then makes an annihilate appear randomly on the screen. Story 3. Cellurouge is a merciless that will do anything to win a battle. It prefers to do close quarters combat with a mix of sneak and surprise attacks by using its quick speed to locate a foe behind blind spots. It will then move closer before slashing them with its large swords. Any cuts from its swords will cause wounds that leak life energy, which the swords will then absorb. It's the perfect ghost to do the bidding of some dark power. So I'm going to switch our view real quickly. Stop the screen share. There I am. And then I just want to test to see if any of this is appearing on this screen as well. Cool, it is. So Cellurouge, cool, it appears down below me. It's not in the way. And then, there welcome on in, Code Black. We're just testing some different features over here. Oh, this screen is actually... well, thank you for following. That's actually a good test to see if... all right, which... So that's this one. It needs to be under trigger fire. Okay. So now if we do Gengar... I don't know. But also, like, sometimes when you don't go to a stream for a while, Twitch just randomly unfollows, people. So, I'm not going to take offense to it because it's happened to a lot of people. But I appreciate it. You're my 909 follower. 9 is my lucky number. We have 9 subs right now, which is great. In fact, actually, because you're now a follower, I can VIP you, Code Black. And you can try some of these commands and help me out. So yeah, if you want to Pokemon, if you do exclamation ghost Pokemon, if you try these 3 commands for me, that would be awesome. Annihilate, Runerigus, or Scoldridge, and you'll make a random Pokemon appear, so you can try any one of those. I think VIPs have the ability to do all of them. And any VIP in chat can help out too. So Tina and Sith can join in as well. So I appreciate all of the help. So this would usually be our video game screen, but I'm just making sure that things are appearing across all the different screens in case we want to play a game. I think the plan is actually a week from today for Halloween to do a Pokemon Legends ZA, a Halloween stream. We'll also do it. We have a special podcast coming up this week. I'm really excited about. We'll have Tim live in the man cave. We'll have Champ on. We'll be live reacting to the Monday Night Football game where the Commanders are probably going to get blown out by Kansas City, but we'll cover some of it. That'll be an hour 2, which will be 10 o'clock live. 9 o'clock to start the podcast. Me and my 2 co-hosts of the hockey segment all went to an incredible hockey game on Tuesday where we won, took a lot of video, posted some of it on Instagram if you want to check that out. But we will break down all those videos and the incredible game live. Ovechkin is playing tonight in his 1,499th game with it slated if he does that one, and tomorrow's game. Tomorrow being 1,500. He's also only 2 goals away from 900. He did not score 900 while we were in the building, but a great game nonetheless. And it was pretty funny. Like, I wore a black jersey. 2 of my friends wore black jerseys, and every one of the players we represented scored a goal in our 4-1 victory. So we'll talk about all of that and more. So let me change over here. So this is a different game screen, share screen. This is the hockey one. This is the art one, and this is the main one. So let me switch over to our art thing here. And do I have Photoshop open? I do. And this should then be able to do a more typical art stream. So feel free to do those commands. Yeah, Sith says, I will be shocked if we aren't blown out in Kansas City. So Sith and Code Black, if you guys can just every once in a while throughout the stream do those commands, I'll talk about some of the other ones as well. But I hope you guys are all doing well. We were talking about this story. I think we were in story 4. Gorgeist, 4 different sizes determine their target for who they take into the afterlife. So what's cool about these story is if you any of the Pokemon that's in the story, you can do a command of their name. So for example, exclamation Gorgeist will make a Gorgeist appear, right? So now it's appearing over my head, but we do it again. All right, story 4. So this Gorgeist information is the exact same one as the story 4. So what I'm going to do is in the back end, oh, got it. So that's fine. So story 4 and Gorgeist is the same. So if you type in either of them, it'll just all right, I think I'm going to make that story 4 just instead of it saying it, it's going to whisper that one to people. So that's kind of like a hidden one. So if you do the exclamation point Gorgeist now, it won't do it in the command in the chat, but it will just send you that information personally. And the same sort of thing where if you do story 4. So that way if you do the first couple of parts, it's displaying it, but now story 4 won't display in chat. But let's see, story 5. So this is the mask. I assume that exclamation Yamask does the same thing. Oh, weird. The Yamask one isn't working. Okay. There was a special trigger that was supposed to happen with Yamask. Let me see what's going on with that one. Oh, it's the evolution is what it is. So what is, let me read that story again. So you'll have to evolve it. Oh, cool. So the story says that you can. I had to actually read the story. So the adventure takes you through goes through. The adventures through Ghost takes them through time. Take a stop with you, masks. The adventures. Maybe it should be of Ghosts through time. Okay, I should change that grammar. Hold on. Story 5. And the adventures of Ghost Through Time take a stop with Yamask, the spirit Pokemon. Yamask is a ghost type Pokemon that wanders the ruins of ancient civilizations. But Yamask isn't that scary compared to the next 2 Pokemon in our story. You'll have to evolve it. Configuris or Runeragus to pick your form in chat. You can see Yamask hiding behind some Litwick. Okay, so that is like the hint for the other ones. So that should work now. And so if we, oh, there's an Oddish in chat. Pokecatch Ultra Ball. And then, all right, so the mask won't work, but Runeragus worked. We saw that. And then, yeah. Let me type in this one. All right, cool. And so it appears in front of us. I like it. So, all right. And then this one, I will also change it so now it whispers that information about that Pokemon. It doesn't clog up our chat. I want the story to be in chat, but not necessarily those things. So, advanced settings. So offline, what I'm going to probably do is I'm going to turn on all these things for Halloween to instead of it being subscribers, that everyone will be able to do it next week. And but I'm not going to bore you guys with doing that right now. But the idea is everyone will be able to do the story and make these things appear during our stream. So I was starting to talk about it. We're going to have a hockey talk in the first hour. We're going to live watch the football game in the second hour. And on top of all of that, there's going to be a World Series Game 3 happening. So we'll be live reacting to that as well as we preview that. We'll also talk about a little bit about the Wizards in their first week. They got blown out in their first game. So we'll see how that goes. But lots of other news and sports to talk about. And then next Friday, I think, if I can get back to here on time, we're gonna do like a Halloween stream, probably like an hour and a half from like 11 to 12:30. So right at this time, right now, next week, so whatever time it is for you, we're gonna do a Halloween Pokemon stream for like an hour or two, depending on if Zara will let me. But yeah, I look forward to that. Thank you guys for letting me test out some of these features in Pokemon. Feel free to test them out throughout the stream. I'm sorry if the point redeems don't work. I will turn a lot of those off until I figure them out. But at least the commands work and the interactivity works, so that's great. Code Black, are you still with us? I was going to switch over and talk a little bit about what we're doing here in Photoshop. So this was one of the ones that we were working on before. So these are allowed against depression. It's a raid train that Code Black and I are both working on. Yeah, I was gonna go talk about it right now. Uh, and then the other thing, Code, if you want, there's no pressure whatsoever. I can send you a link and you can come on and chat with me live on air and talk about it while I'm designing it. It's just a Zoom link, and I can always whisper it to you. Or you can tell me about it in chat. So whatever is easier. I just don't know if typing is easier or joining in. You don't even have to have your camera up. You can, in theory, just have the audio and be a call-in as well. So. Okay, cool. Let me, do you want me to send it to you in a whisper or in Discord, the link? So just tell me, yeah, whisper, I'll whisper or Discord you, whatever is better for you. Discord would be better. Okay, I'll send it to you right now. Do something behind the scenes for a second. I'm going to just stop the share for just a second and invite Code in here. Pull up Discord, and we will go back to this again. Okay. All right, I have sent the link in Discord, and feel free to let me know in chat if you're doing it on mobile or on desktop. The link will work on both, but I also have a phone number and password I can give you as well. Sounds good. So I sent it to you. I had to quit out of Discord though, because Discord sometimes creates feedback because I'm using Zoom and two computers, and it's a crazy loop and stuff like that. So yeah. I'm also gonna do who is Code Black for people that don't know. And
masterful performance.
All right, well, while Coda's figuring that out, so these are some of the emote designs that I've been working on, and we can talk about them, and then we can do a bunch of other stuff as well. So we've got about 40 more minutes, but it won't take me very long to do some of these emote ideas, and yeah, so. Um, Aha, Mario himself. There he is.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Welcome on in. Um, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I actually just signed a contract for a new job, so pretty stoked.
Nice. When does it start for you?
3rd of November, so pretty soon.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Very cool. So, what are you allowed to say about what the job is? I mean, feel free to share whatever you
Uh,
want.
Pretty much everything actually. So I've been working in chemistry for years before,
Hmm.
but I spent the last 4 years switching industries. I'm now a programmer.
Cool.
And I'll be starting at a firm that does like customer relations, data management backends.
Nice. That's awesome.
So business focused, not what I wanted to go into. Like I studied for games actually,
Okay.
but well, games industry is shit right now. So
Yeah.
yeah,
For sure. It's funny because I like love video games, and my son wants to be a video game developer, right? That's like his dream. I mean, he's 7, right? So, uh, and I know how hard it was. I was a programmer when I was a kid. I started programming when I was like 7 or 8, and so that's what I thought I was going to do for sure in my career. And then went to college. Engineering got real tough very quickly, and I decided to become an art major and decided that I always wanted to do interaction between um, content and programming and things like that. So I did like interactive video design, which was like choose
oh,
your own adventure
crazy,
stories, which is kind of like that was my thesis, which is why I love YouTube so much because at the end you have those two title cards and you can sort of take people on a journey, right? So, and that's what I love about Twitch. That's why I was playing around with this interactivity is the fact that we can do commands in chat and make things appear on my OBS, right? Is really cool. And I love the intersection of art and technology and stuff like that. But that's
so
just
so
so
you
exciting.
you basically touch all the stuff I really don't want to touch. Like all the art interfaces and that I always get completely screwed by those. I really prefer just opening the code and working on the back end of the program. Like
Yeah.
that's way easier to me. Like numbers and code, that's logical, but everything art related, I just don't see it.
Yeah.
I
Well,
just
and
don't
that's what
see
the world
it.
needs both of us, right? Because you need the designer and you need the coder to work together. So, but that's very cool. I'm excited. Yeah. So I left the world of code behind and then became a designer, but I still have such a love, for that background, because that was, really who I thought I was going to be. And now to this day, my new job is I go around doing tech support for people. And I love using like ChatGPT to analyze whatever their problems are. And then I think of myself as like a digital translator to like a generation who doesn't want to go that direction. And so like I like do the research, figure it out, and then in layman's terms, like this is what you got to do. And so at least for a
I
little
feel
while
that.
longer, there is a generation of people who need that. so, so that's kind of my new thing. But I love it because I get to build websites and I get to do this and I get to chat with you and get to be with my kids. So it's opened up a lot of opportunities to do lots of different stuff. But I thought that we could talk a little bit about this raid train that you're organizing, and why don't you let people know a little bit of behind the scenes of that, and then we can spend the last 30 minutes trying to come up with an emote.
Sure. So like the backstory of all of that, I mean you know part of it. We've talked before. I started watching actively on Twitch when COVID was at its peak, like many people, I guess.
Hmm.
And at first it was like watching gaming streams, the usual stuff. But then on Christmas Eve, I got COVID myself, so I ended up celebrating alone at home
Mm.
without my family. And by pure accident, I then stumbled into the stream of Josh Turk,
Yeah.
and it was just such a nice community, so many nice people, and it really helped me through a really rough patch. And for me, that was like stuck in the back of my head to do that myself for quite a while, but I never got around to actually do streaming, especially like music streaming, because I can't play an instrument. I'm just like I'm a screamer in a metal band, and it's really hard to do music streams when you can't play music yourself because karaoke is not allowed on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
So I never
It's a
got
weird
around.
history because sometimes it's allowed and sometimes it's not, right? So like it's not been universal. I know people that
Yeah.
do karaoke streams, but it is one of those dicey things, you know?
If you're unlucky, you can get permaban for it. So yeah,
Yeah.
not trying my luck there.
Yeah, that makes
But
sense.
I always had this idea of trying to use music and streaming to help people. And as I said, it never really worked out. So now that the concept of rate trains finally reached my brain, and
Mm-hmm.
I realized, well, you could organize one yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like we took part in one rate train, no, actually two rate trains that Peter organized.
Yeah.
So that's where I got in contact with the concept. And then this year I was like, well, we now know somebody who's capable of professionally streaming, live streaming our band through Twitch. So we
Mm-hmm.
could actually take part ourselves as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then the idea started from there, basically, like bring it together, like have the option to play with my band for an online audience and at the same time help people with it.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, do you guys ever stream like, band practice or ever test stream, doing that sort of stuff on yours? Have you
Um,
done any of that?
no, like we do not stream regularly because we ourselves do not have the capacity to stream our entire band setup. Not
Mm-hmm.
yet. To
Yeah.
like when we finally have our stage rack with all this expensive tech, we might be able to. But right now we just don't have the technical capabilities to do so. So what we're doing for December is we booked a live streaming studio that specializes in music streams. Like they
Ah, very cool.
do, I think, one stream a week with different bands each week, and they have like four people with professional cameras, an entire control room with multiple computers hooked up to the system. So like really professional level, and we're gonna stream through them.
Mm-hmm.
And I really hope it works out. We did that once before and it was pretty good, but now they like stepped it up once again. They have a bigger studio, better tech, and I'm really curious. It's gonna be great.
That's awesome. No, I'm really excited. So I have been a part of, man, probably over 10 raid trains now. Through Peter, I've been helping to design, the stuff for Josh's and through Peter's other ones and, Kids Hungry. And it's been so inspiring with the idea of I'm not a music streamer, so I can't stream doing that. I have streamed interview streams about it, and I've streamed making the art for it for some of them in the past as well, just to bring some awareness. But one of the things that's really fun to do is design the visual identity of a stream. And so I am a graphic designer by trade for the last 25 years, and so to be able to donate that as an effort and then to watch all these streams use the same emote and have it pop up and be part of almost like the lexicon of the stream is what a cool thing, impactful that it's it doesn't take, maybe 30 minutes of my time, but it could then be a touch point. And a lot of these streamers keep these emotes for years afterwards to remember being a part of it. It's almost like a badge or an honor. And so I think that's really cool. And so it's a really fun thing to be a part of. And, even if I can't be in the music, but be a part of the chat that's behind it, which ends up being the most important part because generating that energy is really important to creating people to donate. But I think a lot of these raid trains, the donations are really important. I don't want to underscore the value of the money that comes in, but to me, what's great is the sense of community, learning about these
Exactly.
programs that you may not know about, and for everyone to come together and also learn about other streamers, that you get to raid into a different one. And so it touches on so many different things. It's not just a situation where it's the money is what all you're trying to get out of it, right? So even if
Yeah.
they weren't going to make very much, it was still worth doing just to bring awareness for a lot of these causes.
That's actually one thing I also highlighted in our like reach out message we sent to the streamers because yeah, we are raising money. I mean, it's a charity rate train, so yes, we are doing that, but the main focus of the event for me is actually to give people a community and like a space where they can spend the festive time around like the red train is shortly after Christmas, so like the festive time around Christmas when they like there's a lot of people out there despite the Christmas time, they are lonely, they feel lonely or don't have anybody to celebrate with. So what I wanted to do was like give them a space to hang out together and enjoy some music and at the same time increase awareness about depression, suicide and all that stuff. Um so yeah, we are
Great, because this
raising
is like the
money.
time period where the sun goes down and it's dark and it's cold and in a lot of the northern hemisphere. And I think that's such a good point. I've always been so blessed to get to spend time with my family during that time period, but so many people don't have that opportunity, whether they live too far away, don't have family, whatever the reason might be. So to find that online community, I agree with you. I found Twitch in a very similar time period. I actually had been on Twitch before COVID. I often listened to it during the day, music and things of that nature. But obviously, the amount of time I spent on it, and it did shift. I was like you. I was watching gaming streams, initially on Twitch before COVID, and that music is so powerful, and that sense of community is so powerful. And I love Josh's community and so many others that we're gonna have involved with this. And it's been cool to get to watch it and work with Peter on so many different groups and to work with you as well. And so thank you for letting me be a part of it. Can you remind me what
Sure.
the dates are for the raid train?
Um, Currently we are planning 26th through 29th of this December. So like starting Friday evening and ending Monday evening.
Hmm.
So like the last 2 hours on Monday evening will be my band and the band of a friend through the professional stream setup and everything before is basically the regular rate train.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, so it's the 26th, so it's Boxing Day for some. The on that Friday, the 27th is Saturday, 28th is Sunday, and then the 29th is a Monday, which is great. I won't be streaming on that Monday. I usually do stream on Mondays, but I will be on my winter break as well. So for people on my channel, the week of the 15th through the 19th is actually my last streaming week before I go away. For 2 weeks, I go scuba diving with my family, so I do a scuba
Oh,
diving
I'm a
documentary.
diver as well.
Oh, that's amazing. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but I have a YouTube channel for scuba diving documentaries, and so it's
I have not. You need to
yeah.
drop me the link, definitely.
Yeah, I will.
Like I
I'll put it in chat, but I can also send it to you separately. But yeah, it's a. I did YouTube very wrong. The ideal thing is you're supposed to make a channel for every interest that you do separately. And I put everything in one channel, which is how I have over
Ah,
667 videos. Whether it's sports podcasting, concerts, my family vlogs, my scuba diving. But I figure it's like, when I pass it on to my kids, they can have one place with everything, right? And it's really mostly for them. But we're live streaming on there in theory right now, but which has nothing to do with scuba diving or sports or concerts. So, but yeah, I love it. Interactive, like we were talking about. So at the end of each chapter of each story, choose your own adventure. You can either continue on the documentary you're doing or jump to that dive site maybe 5 years ago and see the
oh,
differences.
nice.
So you can choose whether you're going to go through in time history or chronological history
Oh, I'm
throughout
I'm so
the.
gonna watch the shit out of the channel.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And it's cool. Dan Tremblay, who is a Twitch musician who I love, that I actually found on one of these raid trains, which is, bringing it all full circle. We started to work together, and I asked if I could take his whole album and make the movie the album. So he's the soundtrack for it. Each song
Oh,
is a different movie, and each one is its own dive, right? So it's I shoot it over the course of 2 weeks, so you can watch it all strung together on the playlist, or you can watch them as one-offs, right? And then I re-edit them one. That's the long form, that's about 10-minute video for each dive. And then I also shorten it to make a 3-minute one for Instagram that I do vertical. So I've started doing it both. So
okay,
the same
yeah.
footage could be used, for two different, and that one's more like the highlights. I put the best stuff at the beginning because I only have 3 minutes to try to like grab your attention. It's kind of like an advertisement. If you like it, you could see the whole video on YouTube kind of thing.
Man, now I
So
want to go diving again. God
yeah,
damn
it's
it.
so
I haven't had like a holiday outside of Germany for 5 years now. So yeah,
you got
I
to
really
hopefully with this new job you'll get to afford to do something like that.
I
So
hope so.
yeah,
Like
that would be good.
before I quit my job in chemistry, I've been diving at least once a year on holiday.
Nice.
Uh, in the beginning, I actually also worked in a dive center before I started in
Where were
chemistry.
you diving?
Um, so most of my dives I had on the Canary Islands just because I worked there for
Oh,
a
cool.
year. So that was my home base. I learned everything there. And after that, I went to Galapagos.
Mm,
I went to Madeira, Egypt, Greece.
nice.
Uh,
Have you ever taken a GoPro or anything down with you to take any documentation?
I have, but due to the fact that it's an old GoPro, most of the footage is not that good.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
have a lot of pictures friends took when we were diving together. So
yeah.
I always let them send me like a Dropbox link or something with the pictures they took while we were diving together.
Nice.
But 90% of the time, I focus on just enjoying the dive because for me, like diving is yeah, like a different world. Like you stick your head underwater, and when you're used to diving, your heart rate slows down, and you just start to relax, and you stop to overthink everything. So I
Mhm.
just tend to enjoy the dive and not
Yeah,
take
so I love the
pictures.
sense
And
of weightlessness and the neutral
yeah,
buoyancy.
it's
I feel because I
so
have the bad
relaxing.
back and like I feel no back pain because there's no gravity pulling you down in the same way. And if you, especially if you true neutral buoyancy, for people that don't know, if you put air in a BCD, which is your inflatable vest, and then you can control it. And so if you do it right, and I am a master diver, have over 200 dives. Your breathing will make you go up and down. And so
Yeah,
I use that as a cameraman. So I breathe in to zoom out, or, I breathe out to zoom in on something, right? So you can start to like really get some really cool shots. Some things I can't even see in real time that I go back and I look at my footage. I'm like, oh, look at all those cool stuff. And then I also, all the dives kind of run together for me, and so it's really nice to sometimes have some of this footage to be like, oh, that's what I saw, right?
yeah.
Like,
But
and
I actually find it amusing when you talk to somebody, you can pretty quickly notice their how much dive experience they have just
mhm,
based on things like you just talked about with the using the lung to level yourself. Like
mhm.
dive 150, around 150, everybody starts to notice, well, I don't actually need to use my BCD. I can just use my lungs to level myself. And then you start using so much less air. And it's funny because most of the people think like, oh, nobody will notice if I like add some dives to my log and just pretend I'm experienced. We do notice.
Oh
We
yeah,
do
for sure.
notice for sure.
And some people do a lot of dives but don't get a lot of experience, if you know what I mean. Like some people, I think you need to have good people around you teaching you some good techniques as well,
Yeah.
because the pure number of dives doesn't necessarily denote how good of a diver you are. I've been with some divers that had nearly 1,000 dives, and I think they're sucky divers. And I know some people, like my wife, who's 10 dives in and a better diver than me, right? So like, who you surround yourself with, whether you get additional education, around it. You can get the bare minimum, right? Or you can take advanced certifications and nitrox and other things like that. So all
Uh,
very helpful and stuff
we
like that.
actually we when I worked in the dive center, we had one guest
Hmm.
who came up to me and was like, "Well, I don't need your help with anything. I'm an experienced diver. I have like 500 dives, stuff like that." I was like, "Well, I'm fine with that. We're still doing a briefing. You're not getting
Yeah,
around the briefing. Like,
right.
we're gonna do that, and I'm still gonna watch you because I
That's
don't
my
know
job.
you."
Yeah, yeah,
And then we went in for the first dive, and he went up and down like a cork. Like he had
right.
no control over his buoyancy at all. And I was like, where the heck did you get your 500 dives? Like,
Yeah.
what's happening? And he showed me his log, and it was actually like 500 dives in a swimming pool in Germany.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, that's not 500 dives. I'm sorry, but no.
Yeah, exactly. You need to be in different situations, current, whether you're in caves or being involved with those different types of dives. I think is night dives very scary, but
Yeah.
you learn a lot about yourself in them. So because you really don't want to be creating a lot of crazy commotion at night. But let me go back to my screen share here and
Yes.
see if we can do a little bit of art. I know we got maybe about 30 minutes until I got to go pick up my daughter. So this was one of the emotes that we started working on that we sort of liked, but I did like the idea to try to somehow make it feel louder, right? We have hearts coming out of it, but it doesn't denote loudness, so to speak. And also we wanted music notes to be in there as well. So I was thinking about some of that sort of stuff. So I am going to take this and we're going to cut it out and paste it in a separate layer. So now it's a different layer that we can turn on and off, and we can erase parts of it, duplicate parts of it, and do whatever stuff like that. So what I usually like to do is I duplicate a layer, so that way we have the old one if I need to go back, and then we can start to add a couple. So I was thinking about making music notes, images here. So I'm just gonna grab
Yeah,
stuff.
music notes and like, do you know like when you read a comic or something and they start to swear or scream at each other and you have like those combinations of different signs like hashtags
Yeah,
and exclamation marks and stuff like that? Maybe something like
yeah.
that as well.
Nice. I like that idea. So what I do here is I'm just grabbing this and then using a this selection tool, I can copy them out and then select, copy, paste. Go back to here, deselect, select, copy, paste. Go back to here, select, oops, copy, paste, and then copy, paste. This. Copy paste. All right. So now you can see here. Oh, I didn't grab this. Oh, we already have another one, so it's fine. All right. So now these are all on their own layers. So what I'll do is I'll select them, and we are going to new group them. Oh, whoops. I've taken all these layers and I'm putting them in a group. The reason I do this is now I'm going to duplicate this group, and this is going to be my hidden extra copy, so I can grab those later if I want to, right? So now I've created all those as separate layers. Now we'll take all of these notes and I'm going to shrink them a little bit. Do, do, do. And so now we can grab those, and those could be like silhouetted that we could have inside of this. So we already have a duplicate of this layer, so I'm going to just start grabbing some of these hearts and let me do it this way. Object selection tool. All right, perfect. And then I can use the -1, and I can take some of these out. And so we're basically like thinning out the hearts a little bit. So I like those. This one I take out.
This is
So,
actually quite interesting to me right now because I don't own Photoshop. I never have. I use GIMP for everything I do because first, it's free. Second, it's open source, so I can write my own plugins.
Yep. I
And
also have
then
used GIMP in the past. And sometimes I do use GIMP on some computers I don't have Photoshop. So I don't, yeah. All right, so let me
I
select.
always tend to compare like the functionality they offer
Mm-hmm.
and just check if it maybe would be worth for me to get Photoshop in the future. But so
Right,
far, I haven't found anything I would need for the stuff I do that GIMP can't do. So
right. I agree with you for the most part. The only I'm just so used to Photoshop. I used to teach Photoshop classes to high school kids. So I'm just like the pure amount of time I've spent with it.
yeah,
Uh, is helpful. And now they do have some like AI generation stuff that I can then, so I use some AI to build some of these elements, but then what I do is I delete so much that it becomes our own, right? And um
yeah. I mean, I do a similar thing. Like I don't use Photoshop AI as I don't have Photoshop. I just use Midjourney for it. But I basically use AI generated images as placeholders to see if the idea I have works. And then
hmm
afterwards, I replace it with regular graphics that I either got from an artist or tried creating myself if I like if it's something simple.
right,
But uh, it's just way easier and faster to use AI placeholders to just see if the base idea is even worth following up on.
right.
Like the stuff I do, I don't do artworks. I do game layouts. I
hmm
develop my own board and card games.
Oh, that's cool.
So I need a way to quickly prototype layouts and layout elements for game functionality.
Right.
So yeah,
That's cool. Yeah, there's lots of different ways to skin a cat, so to speak. Like there's so many different tools out there, so many different thought process, um, and what's cool is once we have these as separate layers, right? I can take them, warp them, integrate them into here in different ways, stretch and um, so. And then what I'll do is some of them I will duplicate them. Oops, not that button. There we go. So if you hold down the control button and drag, you can duplicate them through. You can take these ones right here. I can duplicate this and then I can transform it and shift it, make it smaller or wider. So that way I can, tuck them back in there. And some of them, like what we could do also is have some of them above and some of them below. So you create this depth effect, right? So for example, this one, I think I want above that one, right? So that way it's somewhere behind, it gets that depth. Um, and I think this one looks too stretched, so I'm gonna adjust it a little bit. And so I think that's like more interesting, than it would
yeah,
just being, hearts already. And one of the things with this is it's an emote, so it's gonna be pretty small, right? So, but it gives you like a sense of it, right? And so I do think we need some like maybe sonic rings going up kind of thing, to try to, whether that part of that exists before, above, and below. So let me see what I can do. using ChatGPT just to create some Sonic stuff because that is something very simple. You know, we don't need to sit here and generate that. Generate.
I was just thinking, because the emote is so small, if it would make sense to reduce the amount of objects flying out
Hmm.
so they can be bigger.
That could work too.
Because otherwise you're just gonna see like a megaphone and any like something flying out, but you can't really
Right.
tell what it is.
That's a good point. So let me try to think of the best way to generate everything larger but not, you know? So I have an idea. We're gonna just take this thing and we're just gonna scale it up real quick. So that way we can use some of these that are bigger. And then I will. I like that idea though. So because these hearts are already more legible at that size. And now if I take these objects here and we still intersperse them around but make them larger, then maybe they become more visible. And maybe we don't need as many of them, you know? So I don't think we're going to have as many. Yeah, so we can take out some of these. Just sort of have them peeking through, you know? So this one I'm going to move. Oops. Wrong layer. It is this one.
I love Twitch. I when I logged onto Twitch to join your channel today, Twitch recommended me like a small metal music streamer, and I just hopped onto his channel and said hello and joined his Discord as well. And now I just got a random message from another person I know from Chainbrain's channel that she saw me in that small metal streamer's chat.
That's
I,
amazing.
it's so funny because like if you h- have a specific niche you like to watch or be part of,
Hmm.
then you will meet people you already know in every single channel. It's so funny.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. This is already starting to look a lot better, I think. I mean, this is super zoomed in, but you can see, you know, which is, I'm fine if it's a little pixelated when you're super zoomed in because it's going to be so small.
Yeah.
I think that that's easier to read, though. I'm trying to decide whether I like the idea of sonic rings or if that's just going to be too busy, you know?
Well, maybe we could do like those action lines on the sides.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I can see that. Trying to think of the best way to do that. Let's just make a brush and put it on the top layer. Oops, I don't want that. I want this. All right. Trying to decide whether we should do it in black or white. You know, just playing around with like what would it look like. You think above or below or on top?
Mm, I would say like below and yeah, to the sides, like 2 or 3 on top and 2 or 3 on the bottom, so the middle stays free. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Maybe. I don't know. As I said, I'm not that much of a design person.
Yeah, but it's helpful to have ideas to be generated by somebody else. You know what I mean? Like even in
Yeah.
conversation, I can generate some ideas. Like, oh, that's better with it. Some of it being behind too. You
Yeah.
know,
I mean, if it's in the background, it doesn't like bother the rest of the elements.
and it
So
actually lightens it up a little bit. You
yeah.
know. But I do want like maybe one more, just like up a little bit, so that way, you know. No, not there. That's kind of cool. Maybe just a little bit of this. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I think that gets louder, you know? What are your thoughts on the background color? I literally put it on a, blue, but, just to make the red pop in theory, but it could be, you know, on anything. I mean, you could even, I'm just throwing this out there, have it be transparent, and then you could have it, I'm just going to show you what it looks like on black also. So on darker streams, it would look like that, and then lighter streams, it would look like this, you know?
Mm.
So
The thing is, I like the idea of having it transparent, but I think it's
you'll lose the
like,
lines.
yeah, you lose a lot of readability.
Yeah. Okay. Because for a lot of them, I have created transparent ones, for a lot of ray trains in the past. So I guess I can understand the value of both. The other thing that you could do is you could have this as one emote, and then you could have where we enlarge the megaphone, put some text on top of it, and have that be a second emote. So that way
Yeah.
that one could be the one that is transparent, and people could have both. So, people have
I
had,
I actually I actually like the idea of just having the megaphone on a transparent background with like a text as a secondary
yeah.
because like it's not much effort to do
Yeah, so let me
and
save this one right here as idea three, and then we're gonna play around with that as another idea. So that's idea three, save as, and we're gonna call this idea four. So I always keep many iterations because that way if I need to go back, we can go back to them. So I'm gonna take away almost everything here, and we're gonna just try to do that, and then,
because I think the biggest problem for an emote in chat is the size.
yeah.
Like it's gonna be so small, it has to be somewhat readable.
Yep, I
So
agree. And then we could change any of the colors, any of the text. We could really, change this a lot. And then I'm gonna put it on a crazy, really ugly background right now. I do this whenever I'm gonna put it on transparent because it tells me, what we're gonna be working with. It also shows me if there's like blemishes or stuff like that, right? Um, so I think we start to adjust some of this and take it away. 'Cause it's, I think, distracting, right?
yeah, maybe like um make the red part entirely red and then onto the right part in the front just put the uh, uh damn I lost the English word for it like the letters the shortened form of the ray chain like
Yeah, so
the
loud
LAD.
against depression, so
Yeah,
LAD.
yeah.
So that
what's
makes
what's
lat
what's what's the English word for that? God damn it. Like if
for
you
it's a starts with an A. It's not an anagram. It's a no, I'm drawing a blank on it. It's a
see how am I supposed to remember if I'm not even a native English speaker?
English speaker. Um,
I need to turn on a light. I look like I fell into a green pot of color. Give me a second.
acronym.
Oh, acronym, right? Yeah. It's
I was
not
good.
bad. Yeah, a little bit.
I had to use Google as my phone a friend. Anyway, I have an idea, but I just kind of I'm gonna play around with something for a second. How do I make it at an angle though?
Ah, I see what you're going for.
Just I'm playing, like it's gonna be really like small, but I'm just playing with an idea, like, and then if I lower the this, let me adjust it just a little bit. It tries to match the. I just want to see what that looks like when it's right. So that way the acronym is there, but you also can faintly see it. So when it's tiny, but then also there'll be other things that we would use this megaphone on that would be bigger, So I don't know. Let's I want to clean this up a bit. But yeah, just people would be surprised. I'm doing all this with a trackpad, by the way.
What?
25 years of training myself to use an Apple trackpad. To use it, I don't use a Wacom tablet. I don't use a mouse.
Oh my God. I
I
I would just throw my laptop against the wall if I had to
know most
use the
people.
trackpad.
One time I used to do these art streams. I put a second camera up just to show what I'm doing with the. It always like blew people away. I
Oh
thought I'd at least
Jesus
mention
Christ.
it. All right, so this is what it looks like on white, and then this is what it looks like on black. What I would suggest we do is we add a drop shadow to this whole thing,
Yeah.
and way smaller than that, way shorter distance, way less opacity. And then that way, when it's on white, it has some pop to it, right?
Yeah.
When it's on black, you would not see that. So what I do is also I do a double effect. So then I add a glow, an outer glow to it, and then I lower
Ah.
that a little bit and lower the noise and the opacity to this. And so now when you do it on black, you get a white glow around it, and when you're on white, you have a black shadow.
Huh. That's
So
actually pretty clever.
yeah. It gives it a little bit more depth,
Yeah.
on either background. So now we're back to the annoying green. All right. So this is looking pretty good, though. I kind of almost like this better than we were doing before.
I mean,
Um,
it's way more readable
yeah,
in
for
general.
sure. What colors is the ray train? Because I now kind of want to adjust the reds and stuff
Uh,
to fit.
give me a sec. Where did I? Oh God damn it! Where did I put it?
So what I do is I select the color range and I do it like this, and then if I do edit. Okay.
Because so far all we have is like the pre-generated alert pop-ups and stuff like that from
Right.
the donation site.
So
So
we
we
really could
can,
do anything. What colors do you like? Do you like darker colors? So, see, now I have isolated that color area, so we can adjust this color range. And what it does is you can even adjust the opacity, so you can bring out like a darker red like this. So it could overlay on top of it. See, so it's not as bright.
yeah. So
Uh, but we
usually
could.
I prefer like black and gray and white and stuff like that, but for an emote that should like really pop, I think brighter colors are better.
Okay. Just playing around with different, color ranges. So
Yeah.
we could, you know.
I'm actually not sure what color would work good because like usually when you try to symbolize depression and stuff like that, you have those moody, muddy, darker
Mhm.
colors,
Right.
but like we want to achieve the opposite. Like
Right.
we want to fight depression, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably like something warm, bright and warm. So red was a good start, but maybe not as aggressive as the
Azure. Yeah.
original.
Uh-huh. So you could do like a bit of like a darker red. You can have a more moodier red. This is more like a blood red. There's and then on the scale of it, you could always add, brightness to them. So, if you wanted it to be a brighter color, you could, do something like this where, add some warmer tones to it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
And maybe like a bright red that goes a bit into the pinkish tone. So
mm-hmm,
like the typical heart color, if you get me?
mm-hmm. So this goes a little bit more that way. What's also cool that you could do is you can do a gradient overlay, and so it could be if you, like I'm just throwing out an idea now. If you wanted to do like purple to red, for example, and then you can flip the direction of the gradient. You know what I'm saying? Like you can
Yeah,
adjust,
yeah.
and that creates more of a brightness to it. So so that's a direction you could go. Oops, that's not the button. So this could be more of a deeper purple, or it could be more of a lighter pink, right? And so if you did like a lighter pink to a red, oops, see that one right there? Like, and then if you change the direction of it, you know, so that's brighter in theory. We could make it even bright. I also don't want to put too much onto it because it's not like,
Yeah.
so that's why I'm not like making it neon, like I don't want it to stand out too much, so there's a balance. So this is what it looks like on a darker color, which I think it looks cool. And then on a lighter color, also cool.
Yeah. Like
So we can
I'm
always bring it
I'm
back to the group too, if we wanted to.
I'm not entirely sure where to go color-wise yet because
Yeah,
it
and
has to
but
fit
these
like
can
the
also be
rest.
we can talk to the group and see if they have any
Yeah.
ideas too. One other quick question, and then we'll probably wrap it up here. A lot against depression. I kind of like it the black against the white, but I'm open to other suggestions if you have them.
No, like I would leave the text at a simple black color just to have the contrast make it really pop because it's gonna be so small in many places.
hmm Yeah, I kind
So
of
you
agree with you. Yeah,
get a
I just
chance
think what would
to,
happen is if you added strokes or other things, I do think it makes it harder to read.
yeah.
Um, Let me also see real quickly. This is bold, but what happens if it was bold italic? Makes it a little easier to read. Let me also try to.
What I was thinking of, but you probably won't see that when it's smaller, is maybe warping the text a bit so it
Yes,
follows
yes,
the,
yes. That's smart, actually. That's what I was just actually doing as you were mentioning that was So let me, what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to rasterize this. Oh, I'm going to duplicate it. Duplicate the layer. There it is. And then this one, I'm going to rasterize that. And just edit, paste special, paste in place.
To be totally honest, I'm still stuck on the fact that you're doing this with the trackpad.
That actually looks pretty good, right? It kind of more feels like it's on it versus, gives a little more of a curvature there,
Yeah, I
and
like
it
that.
kind of bows back out a little bit because it would do that in a flare, if it comes back up. But it doesn't do it as much as it should. But I do that on purpose because it wouldn't be able to be legible if I did the SSION coming at you, which is what it
Yeah.
would technically do. But I think people will give me some grace. So it'll be tiny. Um, I like it. I think this is cool. I also well, I think I will make a couple of transparent ones of this and send it to our group chat, and we can always work from
Mhm.
there. And but Mario, thank you so much, Code Black, for people on Twitch, and thank you for letting me be a part of this. And this is kind of a fun little stream idea to do it. Oh my goodness, it's the Stream Scribe. So many aerodynamic,
Thank,
aerodynamic
really, thank you for
accessories right now.
helping out. Like,
Yeah, for sure. What do you
did
think, Scribe? We have actually a true Twitch artist in chat, the Stream Scribe, who I love, and actually made the thing below us over there. There you go. My little logo thing over there. Loud Against Depression. We're doing a raid train, and so this is going to be an emote idea for it. So it'll be much smaller, but I think it'll be good as a logo too to have it be a little bit larger that we could then stick on things. Right now, the size of this is 500 by 500. I may, in fact, even render it real fast larger than that. Although I don't think we need to be making it super big. We're not making posters in physical size for it. I think it's going to be something that will stay fairly small, even if it's not an emote.
yeah.
But cool. Well, thank you so much, StreamScribe, for tuning in. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I'm going to take a quick look to see where we could raid out to. Oh, my friend Willie Sound Music is on. And he's been on for 42 minutes, which means that he'll still be on, which is great. I don't know if you know Willie, but he's a South American streamer, a musician. So I'm going to do a raid over, have it do a raid call in chat. So what channels should people follow for more information on this as the raid train starts to come together? Is it your Instagram or where should, I know people will be
So
posting.
right now we haven't figured out where to promote all of that because we're just reaching out to all the streamers. But I think as soon as the like um, general idea is fix and more people start applying for slots, we're gonna promote it through all the streamers who take part and also through like for the streamers if they want information through the charity Discord we're
Perfect.
on.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And I
we
think
we,
that
we
at some
will
point
we
as we
will
get
make it.
closer, I should do another stream with you and we can chat a little bit more about it.
Sure.
Maybe in early December, and then we can promote it even a little bit more once we have a better sense of who's going to be in it, and then by then we can do that. I can always share the posts on my Instagram page as well. But thank you everybody for joining and being a part of it. Mario, for coming on. It's always more fun to do an art stream with a friend. So I used to. This was a concept I had, was art with friends, and it never kind of took off originally. But maybe this is something that we'll bring back, and it was definitely fun to do with you, and it seems like a good time for you. So I'm happy. I know that you're
Yeah,
going to be
I
working.
had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know you're gonna be working soon, but at least even if I did it in the afternoon, it would be your evening, so we could always do it after,
Yeah, like
work on the day for you.
right now it's 6 p.m. So yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So for people on my channel, I will be back on Monday with our super special episode 388, a Sports on the Hill podcast. We'll be talking hockey the first hour, football second hour. We'll be live watching the World Series. We'll have guests on every hour. I'll have guests live here in studio too, so a lot of friends stopping by for that one. We'll be recapping going to the awesome Capitals game as well. Hopefully our football team won't be doing too terrible. You can watch me in my misery during the podcast, or elation if somehow they prove me wrong. So that'll be fun. And then next week, about this time, maybe an hour earlier, we'll start. I'm going to do a Pokemon Halloween stream using some of these spooky stuff and stories. And then in November and December, I'll do some pop-up streams as well. But Mario, Code Black, thank you so much for being a part of it.
Thank you for having me.
I'm gonna set the raid up right now to Willie-san Music. Grab a raid call. If you've got the emotes, there's some of them that have emotes and some of them that don't. You can grab any of those. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I really appreciate it on a pop-up stream where I gave no announcements that I was going to do it. So thank you for everyone for stopping by for that. And with that, I think we are going to head out of here. Oh, you gotta love Twitch. My rating start coming soon is completely okay. I refreshed the page. I had no raid now button, and so I was like, I can't raid until I have a raid now button. So, oh, welcome in, Ryan. We were just doing an art stream. Ryan's going to be up in my neck of woods next week. But yeah, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Definitely go check out Ryan's stream. I don't know if he's streaming later today, but he's a great musician as well. And we will have more information about this freight train as we get a little bit closer to it. We'll hope that you guys all have a wonderful Friday and a weekend. And I'll see you next Monday and next Friday for Halloween as well. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.